This is more appropriate for a kind of a casual thing. I haven't found a way to do it on stage that where the process doesn't get in the way of the presentation. But basically, it's using any sheet from a newspaper. And newspaper is really good because it's a very rough texture, and the stuff sinks in and stays there. So what you'll do, and by the way, rather than tearing it, because newspaper will tear straight in one direction and ugly in the other direction. So sometimes it's just easier to use scissors or carry like a machete or something, so that you can cut it into different pieces. After you've done that, now it can be torn, and in a lot of ways, when you tear it, it lends a little bit to the messiness, which is actually not a bad idea. So you'll end up with just a whole bunches of paper. Well, this doesn't differ physically at all from the pages of a book, for example. So you will get your load. Somebody's been playing with SilverBullet. Now, you'll get your load. Ask somebody to give these a mix, back and forth, and then suggest to the person that it's best if you actually show him what to do. Just pick up some like this. It doesn't matter how many, and look at the most prominent thing, the first thing that grabs your eye on that page, and then put it back. And of course, when he picks it up and looks at the first prominent thing on that page, well, in this case, it'll be that little heart-shaped thing, and you say, just put it back right here. Now you've dosed the paper beneath it. He puts it back. All right? All you need to do then is to take this paper in hand and give it a cut like this, and you will automatically cut back to that very same spot. That means then that after they've taken it back, they can cut a few times, mess, whatever they're going to do. And you can even do it on the table here like this, and pick up, and you've got the same thing. Okay, so it can be very much like one of these PK things, where you reach down and there. A very nice little revelation. Or if you want to do it surreptitiously, that is, without being overt about it, and I actually prefer the surreptitious method myself, is you'll say, well, it could have been from any of these. Could have been from here, I've already got the peak. See, it's right here. Could have been from here, it could have been from here. Nobody knows which one you were thinking of. And, by the way, because you're not looking at the side which could have served as a key for you earlier, if anybody is paying any attention at all, thinking you're somehow looking for that piece of paper, you ain't. You just give them a couple of casual cuts, and then just mention you could have at any one of these. And you've got your information. That's a bonus! And you'll enjoy that with SilverBullet. That is SilverBullet Lite. Please enjoy the rest of the instructions taken at a time just a couple of years back. April, you've volunteered to sit in and do a little thought transfer with me. If I asked you to think of a playing card, the most common response is the Ace of Spades or the Queen of Hearts. If I asked you to think of a piece of furniture, it would be chair. If I asked for a vegetable, the common response, carrot. Not that I care at all. But instead, if I ask you for a random word, there may be one that people commonly come up with. So instead, I brought along a book. One of my favorites, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm really good at the people influence. I'm not too sure about the friends. But if you'll be my friend today, please take the book and do this. Just open it to any page you want to, anywhere you like. Hopefully it will be a complete page, not a title page. Okay? Just open it to any page you like. Okay, have you done that? Hold it up in front of your eyes, please, and look at the word up in this corner, the first complete word that you see. Do you have that?
Got it.
Put it in your mind, close the book. I am going to work with your mind to try to pull that word out of your mind. First, it's necessary that you concentrate completely on the word. Is it one you can easily visualize, or is it one that's a little more esoteric?
Easily visualized.
Easy visualized. In this book of some 250 some odd pages, there must be easily 500 different words that you could have thought of in the upper corner. Nonetheless, the word that you have in your mind is a fairly long word, 8-10 letters maybe even more. It's a rather significant word, almost an important word. I'm guessing, as a matter of fact, the word is importance?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Goomba.
So
welcome, Godfather.
It's been so long since I've seen you.
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Larry was one of the first people who actually got in on the initial startup of this. It was Larry, I think. We were at a meeting of the 6 1/2 or the 3 1/4.
Right.
Ray Grismer and Dr. Juris and you and I were having breakfast one day at the Sunburst Resort.
Correct.
Okay, and so it was time to, you do a trick, you do one, and this is what I came up with, and this was something I was going to publish. And Larry reached over, grabbed my wrist, and squeezed until my hand turned red, and he said, "Don't you dare publish it, sell it." So that's the idea.
You can blame me.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the deal. You're going to get some of this on your finger, and that's more than enough to use. And the gaffis is simply this. This powder is just think of it as microscopic ball bearings, because that's exactly what it is. When you ask the person to turn to a page in the book, go ahead, open it to any page. All that's necessary is you're going to place the powder on the upper corner of the book right here and lifting up, saying, hold it up in front of your eyes. I don't want to see what you're reading. It's there. Larry, can you see the powder there?
Nope.
It's absolutely invisible. There is nothing to see. If it's invisible on your finger, it's invisible on the book. And here, just for reference, we're on page 106. Do you know your own worth? Are the first words on the page. So he would be looking at those words on the page and ask him to close the book and concentrate on the thoughts in his mind. Here's how you get to the information in the book. You place your hand right there, fingers on the bottom, thumb on the top, and push. And the book breaks right at the very same spot. You see, those little miniature ball bearings, they will actually open the book at that page for you, okay? Now, getting the peak, however, is important. So you'll notice when I do it for my participant, the back of the book is toward the participant, and the break that gets formed is here. All that's necessary then is to pick up the book with my thumb over the break, transferring the break to the thumb. It's very broad, but there it is right there, okay? Then, in saying, now this book has about 230 pages, bink, bink, and you're done. In other words, you flip all the pages to the break, take a quick look, and it's over. It's just that fast. It's quick, it's easy, it is so much fun to do.
And he burned us very badly.
Okay, if you're using this in a stand-up show, and hopefully at a hotel, which is where most of the shows that we normally do would be almost always at hotels. Meet a guy before the show, give him a $10 bill, and say, please go into the hotel bookstore, or the concession stand, or whatever they call it, and buy any book in there, and you get to keep the change. Which means he's not going to buy a really big, thick book. And he brings the book out, and he'll go to hand it to you, and you say, no, it's to stay in your possession all the time. Go ahead, open the book, look at a word, upper corner, up in front of your eyes, the same handling as before. Then you tell him, please drop it down into the bag, close the bag, and don't open it again until you and I are on stage. And even then, when I reach for the book, if you want to have some fun, when I reach for the book, pull it away from me, okay? And we'll have a good time. Then later, when he brings the book on stage, you go through all the standard disclaimer stuff. I met this person before the show, gave him some money, asked him to buy a book, and I bribed him because I told him to keep the change if he would agree to keep the book. And I've not touched it.
Nope.
Okay, it's in this sack. What book did you buy, by the way? May we see it? And of course he'll pull it out. Oh, Think and Grow Rich. And now it's okay for me to touch it. Okay. And this book has how many pages? About 260 some odd pages. Now and the work is done.